Today I've come to the heart of Hollywood to visit Hollywood Forever Cemetery. It's right in the centre of Hollywood. It's actually adjacent to Paramount Studios. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of famous people buried here. Very big headstone here with a lot of visitors, judging by the stones on top of the headstone. It's the grave of Estelle Getty, best known for playing the part of Sophia on The Golden Girls. She won a Golden Globe and an Emmy Award for her part in The Golden Girls. She was only 4 foot 10 inches tall, and she was born in New York City in 1923. She had a long career in acting, but it was in the 1980s that she really rose to fame. She was an AIDS activist. Her 29-year-old nephew died of AIDS in 1992. And she had a strong fear of death and was uncomfortable when the subject came up in the scripts in The Golden Girls. Some of her film roles include Mask in 1985, Mannequin in 1987, and Stop or My Mum Will Shoot in 1992, where she starred alongside Sylvester Stallone. She was a year younger than Bea Arthur, who played her daughter on The Golden Girls. And she died in Los Angeles in 2008 at the age of 84. As you can see, lots of people leaving stones here for her. And some peanuts for some reason. Ah, that's a picture of the Golden Girls here. There she is. Lots of coins here as well. Very popular lady. Mel Blanc, the voice of Bugs Bunny, the man of 1,000 voices. He voiced most of the Looney Tunes characters, including Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Yosemite Sam and the Tasmanian Devil. And he was also the voice of Barney on the Flintstones. He's considered one of the greatest voice actors of all time. And he died in 1989 at the age of 81. Well, there's a plaque next to it. It looks like Judy Garland is also buried here. So, and she would have been 100 years old. So they've got these plaques by everybody who's worked with Judy Garland. Burt Reynolds, actor. He started getting successful in the 1960s, but became a huge star by the 1970s. His ashes were buried here 2 years after his death. And he starred in the films Deliverance, Smokey and the Bandit, Cannonball Run, and many others. Born in Michigan in 1936, he was destined to become a big football star before a knee injury ended his career. He was the top money-making star in Hollywood from 1978 to 1982. 1977's Smokey and the Bandit was his most successful film. It was the second highest-grossing film of that year, behind only Star Wars. Burt Reynolds had actually turned down the role of Han Solo in Star Wars. Another part he turned down was the role of John McClane in Die Hard. That part went to Bruce Willis. His career declined from the mid-80s, but he was in the film Boogie Nights in 1997, and he won a Golden Globe for his part in that film. And he died following a heart attack in 2018 at the age of 82. Peggy Shannon, actress. She got her big break in 1931 when she was cast in the film The Secret Call. She was much helped by the studio, but she wasn't very popular with moviegoers. She would later appear in B-movies. She died of a heart attack in 1941 at the age of 34. 3 weeks later, her husband took his own life by shooting himself in the same chair where Peggy had died. Cecil B DeMille, legendary director and producer. He directed the films Cleopatra, Samson and Delilah and the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments in 1956 was his best known film. It was also his last. He had an acting part in the 1950s classic Sunset Boulevard, where he appeared as himself. Cecil B DeMille and Alfred Hitchcock are the only two directors whose names appeared on the marquee of the theatre where his films played. He remade 4 of his own films, including the Ten Commandments. Beginning in 1940 and continuing to the end of his career, all his films were produced in colour and narrated by himself. By 1956, it was estimated that DeMille's 69 films had earned $630 million at the box office and had been seen by 3.5 billion people. He directed 3 films nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture: Cleopatra, The Greatest Show on Earth, and The Ten Commandments. Only The Greatest Show on Earth won. 8 of his films were nominated for the Academy Award for Best Cinematography, but only Cleopatra won. He is the subject of many Hollywood legends. I'm not sure how many of them are true, but if you're interested, it's worth having a look on the internet for them. According to Charlton Heston, DeMille was known for throwing anyone off set that he caught speaking during a take. In one famous story, he was giving a set of instructions to a huge crowd of extras when he noticed one female extra talking to another. Enraged, he shouted at the extra, "Will you kindly tell everyone here what you are talking about? That's so important." Unfortunately for him, the extra replied, "I was just saying to my friend, I wonder when this bald-headed son of a bitch is going to call for lunch." Cecil B DeMille suffered a series of heart attacks from June 1958 to January 1959. He died on January 21st, 1959, at the age of 77. And here we have the grave of Fay Wray. Her career spanned 6 decades. She starred in many horror films and she was dubbed one of the early Scream Queens. She's best remembered for starring as Anne Darrow in the 1933 classic King Kong. She was due to make a cameo appearance in Peter Jackson's remake of King Kong, but sadly she passed away before the filming started. She turned down a cameo role in the 1976 remake of King Kong because she didn't like the script. She was guest of honour at the 60th birthday party for the Empire State Building. 2 days after her death, the lights on the building were dimmed for 15 minutes in her memory. Throughout her long life, she only watched the film King Kong 4 times. And she lived to be 96. Carl Schweitzer, one of the Little Rascals, or I think the correct name for the series was Our Gang. He played one of the most popular characters in the programme, Alfalfa, known for his funny hair and singing out of tune. Sadly, he was shot dead by an acquaintance in 1959 over a dispute over money. He was 31. And the picture of the dog is because he used to breed dogs. The Our Gang series was produced by Hal Roach, who also produced the Laurel and Hardy films. The series ran from 1922 until 1944. The series was notable for portraying white and black children interacting as equals in the Jim Crow era of racial segregation in the United States. Carl actually died on the same day as Cecil B DeMille, who I mentioned earlier, and one of his final film roles was in the movie The Ten Commandments, which was also the last film that DeMille directed.
Please, just tell me what's on your mind. 'Cause I don't have time to figure it out. We haven't been our best for long. I think that we're just holding on to something that won't work out. Maybe we should walk away, just say goodbye and go our separate ways. I can feel it deep inside. We will never work this out. We will never work this out. I can feel it deep inside. We will never work